Okay, here's an application activity for you. You have access to a copy of the book After School. I'd like you to read through this level B text and come up with an introduction for this book. How would you establish the pattern? What's your gist statement? And where are two places you would do a predict and locate? Can you make yourself use the words for that predict and locate strategy? You go ahead and on some kind of little piece of paper like I've been doing, you plan a book introduction. And then maybe just walk through it, talk your way through it. And then I'm going to do one. I'll show you what my book introduction would have looked like. Okay? Turn the video off. Give yourself a little time to make this plan, and then come back and let's see how our two plans compare. Hey, wait a minute. Did you actually plan a book introduction? If you didn't, take a minute, actually try this. Download that book, create a book introduction, and then come back and compare your plan to mine. Okay, so here's what I thought. I think on this cover, I'm going to introduce the story and give a gist statement, something like this. This book is called After School, and it's about all the things that kids like to do after school. Let's see what they like to do after school. Aha. Here's how I'm going to establish the pattern. This little boy says, I like to study after school. And on this page, the little girl says, I like to dance after school. This is a tricky page. On this page, the little boy says, what do you think he's doing here? I like to, it could be soccer or it could be play. What would you expect to see at the beginning of the word play? And the child would say P. I would ask them to find the word and then read it. And then we keep going. That's my tricky word. I think that kids will most probably say something like play soccer. And I want to get it to play. The other page I thought for my predict and locate would be the word act here. It's really hard to tell from that picture that that child is acting. So I might say something like, on this page, this little guy is on a stage and he says, I like to, we'll see what they say. Maybe they say play dress up. I might say it could be play dress up or it could be act. What would you expect to see at the beginning of the word act? Okay, so then the child would locate it and we would go on. I think I might have kids look at each page. I like to, and I like to after school. And then at the very end, there's kind of a tricky page. We like to have fun after school. Sometimes if that last page, if it would be extremely difficult for students to transition to that, maybe they don't have enough known words to actually handle this change in the pattern, then you might want to do like a predict and locate on that we, since it changes from the pattern of I on every other page. This is what my plan looks like then. I'm going to talk about the idea of after school, and then my pattern is I like to, and I'm going to point to the picture and then repeat the words after school. And then I have the predict and locate on page 4 for the word play, and a predict and locate on the page 6 for act. So there's lots of different ways to introduce the same book. I think one thing that would be standard is if you heard reading teachers do these book introductions, you would often hear them say that magic phrase for the predict and locate. What would you expect to see at the beginning of the word? And then name the target word. All right, so that's book introduction practice.